Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a real estate with Kate. I was being really consistent and then kind of holidays hit and things happen and life. So I wanted to go over something that is popping into my inbox more and more, especially as spring hits and people are starting to talk about the market heating up and things like that. Hi Cameron. um, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is now the right time to sell? I get that question almost every time that I have someone looking. And I get things like, could you do a market evaluation? Could you tell me what the price of my home is? Just to see where we're at. We're not ready to sell. We may not be ready to sell. We might not sell at all. But we'd love to have more storage, or we're pregnant, we're having another kid, we're having another kid and we need another bedroom, or my kids are already bunking. I'd really like to let them have their own space. I love getting these messages from my past clients, especially, or people that have been referred to me, because it's my goal to help you make smart real estate decisions. Whether you're looking to sell, whether you want to fight your taxes, whether you're looking to do a renovation loan, whatever your case may be, I want you to make smart real estate decisions, and I am going to be that go-to person for you. The question always is now a good time? And of course my answer is, well, it's really dependent on your situation. Are you looking to move because you just see a lot more in the market that you like better? Or are you interested in actually moving to a new place at some point in time? So everyone's situation is just a little different. So let's kind of go over some steps. So first one is understand your situation. I need to know, like, when did you buy your house? Why did you buy your house? What are you looking to buy? What are your goals for your next property? Are you looking to buy land so you can build? Those are things that are going to help me kind of move forward with figuring out what you need from me. I look for, are you moving up in price? Are you moving down in price? Do you need more square footage, less square footage? You want more land, less land? All of that plays an important role on how the information that I give back to you and present to you. And interest rates make a huge difference. So I would always tell people, you need to check with your mortgage lender. I'm happy to give you some mortgage lenders that can give you what the current rates are. Those are really important to know. And how will that impact your move now versus if you did it in 6 months? So that's also really important to pay attention to. Step 2 is the market. We need to know how the supply and demand is. We've been really lucky in Waco that we've been in a seller's market. We have been pretty steady in a seller's market for about 7 years. There is, in my opinion, there has been a little bit more of a change over the past year. Things are kind of starting to steady out a little bit. Things that we wouldn't typically see sitting on the market are sitting on the market, but there is still a lot coming on the market. There is still a fair amount of houses to be seen. So don't feel like, well, there's just nothing out there for me, because that's not true. I'm happy to set you up on a portal, let you know what's kind of out there right now. So, when you're ready to make a move, you have an informed decision of your area and where you guys are at. So the next step would be your house data. So I'm going to touch on something that gets a lot of people heated, because a lot of what I tell you is based off of how we run comps. Is we look at your area and we run what is comparable to your house. So if your house was built in 1956 and hasn't had an update, but your neighbor was built in 1986 and has completely remodeled it, that's not a comparable. Everything has to be within arm's reach. So thanks, Stephanie, for that thumbs up. So everything has to be within arm's reach. So I'm never going to give you comps that are just completely exorbitant. So the old school rule of thumb used to be, look at your MCAD value, which again, in another video, we'll go over how that doesn't apply. Old school rule of thumb used to be go 15% above MCAD. That was kind of where you stood. Now we, have taken classes with appraisers and kind of learned the ins and outs, the deeper part of a CMA. you really have to look at the houses, the pictures, when they were built, what they look like, things like that. You can't just say, oh, price per square foot in this street is this, because we are taking the older homes and flipping them and making them into something that feels newer. So that is a big part of the situation. The other thing I get when I sit down with people and I tell them value your home, they're like, but my Zestimate, if I have to hear Zestimate one more time, I know all agents hate Zestimates, but here's the thing. I pulled this from Zillow. So if you go to the exact same website, it is www.zillow.com/Zestimate. It is right here. It says it right here. It's from Zestimate. It says, it is a valuation model, is Zillow's estimate of the home's market value, right? So when you log in, you say, I live on 123 Any Street. Great, you're worth $500,000. Whatever. So what this says is the Zestimate incorporates public and user-submitted data, taking account home facts, location, and market conditions. It is not an appraisal. As a real estate agent, as Zillow, as a realtor, I don't care who you are, unless you are an appraiser, you do not determine value. I do not determine value. I price your home dependent on the market to the best of my knowledge. I do not determine value. So, going back to Zestimate. We, as in Zillow, encourage buyers and sellers, homeowners, to supplement the Zestimate with other research, such as visiting a home and getting a professional appraisal of the home, or requesting a comparative market analysis, a CMA, from a real estate agent. Gotcha. The other thing that this says is the Zestimate's accuracy is computed by comparing the final sales price to the Zestimate that was published or just the prior sale date. So let me tell you a little secret. Texas is a non-disclosure state. So what that means is they are taking a shot in the dark. They don't have a clue what our homes sell for, so they can't use that data. So they are basically taking what McLennan County has is what your value is, and what other active homes are in the area, and according to their proprietary algorithm, are guessing. Because their median of error, they have a chart. Again, you can go on the website and you can look. They have a chart on here. Texas is listed and has all blanks, because they cannot prove that their Zestimates are accurate or inaccurate. So, that being said, they say they are accurate within 2% if they have the sales data. Again, we do not provide it unless a seller or a buyer is going in and saying, I bought my home for X amount of dollars, and you give them their exact square footage and all of the data from when you bought it. It's just like when McLennan County sends you that record after you buy a house. Hey, did you finance it? Did you buy it outright? What did it go for? Those things are not something we need to disclose, because all they're going to do is take that information and increase taxes, and they're going to play on people's estimates. So if there is a house that was flipped and sold for $300,000, but it's a $180,000 neighborhood, of course your estimate's going to look like you have a $300,000 house, because someone entered in that they sold theirs for $300,000. So you have to be realistic, and you have to pay attention to the information that is being presented to you. And Everett agrees. I'm telling you, he is seriously agreeing. So anything that they tell you is not necessarily true. If they see a ton in the area that are moving, and the last sales price, all the prices seem to be within like 5% of each other, yeah, there's probably a good chance that your estimate's a little more accurate. But I would not take that as the golden rule, because we don't disclose in our state. So I cannot drive that home any more than what I just did. And again, if you want to read the article yourself, it's www.zillow.com/Zestimate. So Everett agrees. After all of that, after I gather your data, I find out your situation, we talk about it. I want to sit down and I want to talk to you about it. I want to show it to you in person. I want to show you what I'm looking at. I'm not just going to tell you price per square foot is this. I want to show you the addresses. I want to give you a little bit more information. So the clear cut, non-clear cut, very vague, very politically correct, and very lawyer response would be, is it the magic time to sell? Well, I don't know. I don't know your situation. So if you've been wondering where you stand in the market, if you've been wondering what your house would price at currently, I would love to sit down and get your address, talk to you about it, and I can grab a couple. I'd love to buy you coffee, so I don't have to, invade your personal home and feel like it's a heavy sales, even though that's not who I am. But I'd be happy to meet you at a coffee shop, show you what I'm talking about. I can show you that Zillow article. I printed it out. So if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can always shoot me a message, and I'd be happy to respond to you. But thanks for tuning in this week, guys. I'm really passionate about giving people the correct information. And hi, Kat. Kat is new to Bridge. I'm so excited that she's here. She is really awesome, so I'm really excited to have her. And thanks for joining, honey. Appreciate that. But if you guys are interested, check next weekend. And Everett's having a meltdown, so check next week. I'll have another buyer or seller topic. I hope you guys have a great, cold, rainy day.